Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Keagan here and welcome back to my channel, and I'm back with a brand new video for you guys. And welcome back to another episode of Keagan's Movie Reviews. And today is going to be a double feature review this time around. And today's movies I'm going to be talking about are Coming to America and the sequel, Coming to America. Now, before we start this review, I just want to say that this review is a little bit overdue. I originally intended to get this review done last month, but unfortunately I was busy with other videos that I've been making recently, like the last couple videos that I've uploaded recently, and I didn't really get around to making this review. So this review is a little bit overdue, but now it's finally here, so better late than never, I suppose. So I don't really have too much else to say, so let's talk about Coming to America, and then we'll move on to the sequel, Coming to America. So let's get this review on the road, shall we? So Coming to America is a romantic comedy directed by John Landis and was released on June 29th, 1988. And yeah, this movie is almost 33 years old. So anyways, the storyline for Coming to America is it follows Prince Akeem, played by Eddie Murphy. And Prince Akeem is the prince to a fictional African kingdom called Zamanda, or I think that's what it was called. But anyways, it's his 21st birthday and he's having an arranged marriage to someone. But the problem is he doesn't like the person who he's going to be married to, so he decides to set out to America with his valet, and they pose as exchange students, and they're trying to find a woman for Akeem to bring back to Zamanda and marry. So then when he marries the lady he'll marry, he'll become the next ruler for Zamanda. And while on the way, they encounter some different people across America. Well, they stay in New York City specifically, but they encounter a lot of different people in New York City. And they bump into a girl named Lisa, who is played by, what's her name? Shari Headley was the name of the actress that played Lisa. So anyways, Prince Akeem is trying to figure out how to win Lisa's heart, so in order for him to bring her back to Zamanda and marry her, while convincing her to marry him, of course. And that's pretty much the story of the movie. But I don't really have too many things to say about this movie, but I will say I watched this movie for the first time at the end of February, and I thought this movie was pretty funny. And it was a pretty good comedy for a movie that came out in the late 80s. And I thought Eddie Murphy did a great job as Prince Akeem. I don't think any other actor could play him better. Or I wonder what Richard Pryor would have been like playing as Prince Akeem, though I think he'd be a little too old for the character. But I thought this movie was hilarious. It was funny, had some good characters. And the barber shop characters, I don't think they had any names, but I thought they were hilarious. I think most of them were all played by Eddie Murphy, or I think they were all played by Eddie Murphy in the second one. I kind of don't remember. But it's a pretty good comedy. I enjoyed it. Though, I wouldn't say it's the greatest comedy in the world, but it's still a pretty funny comedy. And it's one of the best comedies from the late 80s, I'd say. But I enjoyed it for what it is. But don't really have too many anything else. Oh, God, I can't talk today. I don't have too many other things to say about this movie, but if you like Eddie Murphy, I think that you should check it out. It's a pretty good comedy. It's definitely one of Eddie Murphy's best movies that he was in, I'd say. But if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. And I'm going to give this movie a 7.3 out of 10. Now, let's move on to Coming to America. So, Coming to America is obviously the sequel to the first Coming to America movie. And this was also an Amazon Prime Video exclusive movie. And this movie was released on March 5th, 2021. So yeah, this movie came out about a month ago. And I actually watched this movie on the same day when it was added to Prime Video. And this movie was directed by Craig Brewer, who also directed Hustle and Flow, which I'll probably do a review on someday, because that's a really underrated movie in my opinion. And he also directed Black Snake Moan. But the title for this movie, however, Coming to America, might confuse some of the future generations. They might confuse it with it being the second one. Well, it's kind of highly unlikely, but I don't know. The title for it kind of sounds dumb. They could have just called it Returning to America. Well, even though they're only in America for like 15 minutes in the movie. But besides the title for this movie isn't even worth the watch. This movie was just... Man, this movie was garbage, but I'm going to get to that in just a minute. Let's talk about the story of the movie. Well, if I can remember it, because I kind of forgot most of it. Well, anyways, the story takes place 30-something years after the first movie ended. And Prince Akeem and Lisa are married, and Prince Akeem is played by Eddie Murphy again, and Lisa is played by Shari Headley, or whatever her name was, from the first movie. But then they find out that Akeem has a bastard son somewhere in America, and they're going to America to find him and bring it back to Zamanda. But they're only in America for like 15 minutes in the whole movie. They're in Zamanda for 90% of the movie. So should they just... I personally think they should have just called this movie Coming to America and Back to Zamanda or something. I don't know. And there's some conflict going on with another nation or something. I don't remember. But I will say that this movie was terrible. It's forgettable. It's not funny. And this is just one of those sequels that comes out many years after the first movie came out, and is just made purely for nostalgia and for just virtue signaling and all this shit that you see in a lot of movies these days. But it didn't really surprise me that this movie was going to be made and was going to be bad. One thing that kind of surprised me, well, sort of, that this movie was rated PG-13 and the first one was rated R. Well, that doesn't really bother me too much. Well, maybe a little bit, but why even bother? This movie isn't even worth the watch. But I don't know, like, it's not that funny, to be honest. I only chuckled like 2 or 3 times, and then that was it. The rest of the movie just was not that funny at all, to be honest. And it's one of those unnecessary sequels that just came out for virtually no reason, but I don't know who thought that a sequel to Coming to America was necessary, but they probably weren't thinking right or something. I don't know, but overall, this was a terrible movie. I do not recommend seeing it. Like, why even... Well, if you like the first one, I guess you could check it out, but you're not really missing much. But don't be surprised if this movie pisses you off. Like, this movie is just... It was really bad, actually. It's not the worst sequel that I've seen. There are far more worse sequels that I've seen, but it is one of the worst sequels that I've seen. But overall, this movie isn't even worth it. You're not even missing much. It's just a forgettable movie. I forgot most of what happened in the movie anyways, and I'm just going to forget about the movie, that it even exists. But in conclusion, this movie is not even worth the watch. Just stick with the first one. The first one is so much better, and just avoid watching this movie at all costs. But if you end up watching the movie and liking it, that's okay. That's your opinion. But in my opinion, this movie was just terrible. It's a sequel that should never have been made, and it's a sequel that should be avoided at all costs. But stick with the first one. Don't even bother with this movie. And I'm going to give Coming to America, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 10. And that's going to be it for the review. Thank God. So that's going to be it for this video, you guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like, please leave a comment below, and subscribe for more videos like this. And which movie do you think is better, Coming to America or Coming to America? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you would like to check out my last review, which was on Stranger Than Fiction, the link to that review will be in the description down below. And my next review will be on The Virgin Suicides, and that review will be coming out soon, so stay tuned. But anyways, thanks again for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. And until next time, this is Keagan Shepherd signing off. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.